critical role in transition when it's associated with sustainability. Right? Not only process engineering, it was only there in 70s, 80s, people didn't worry about how much energy you are using, what you are doing, how much environment that you are going to pollute. Nobody worries, but now you can't. So all three words together: transition traditional industries towards more environmentally responsible and resource efficient practices, aligning with the global efforts to combat climate change and promote sustainability. Right? So therefore, we are in there. If we are not going to talk about sustainability, who else is going to talk? That is what I told you. As process engineers, if we are not talking, who else is going to talk? Right? So, okay. Now, maybe now you can think about sustainability. Why sustainable process engineering is important? Right? It's very crucial thing. Sustainability is crucial for process engineering. Why? Because we wanted to have long-term viability of the industry, efficiency, and environmental impact of industrial processes. How we do it? Resource efficiency, environmental. Right? And I have seen many of our candidates, applicants, they work on this compliance work, right? So, if you want to compliance, then you should know what actually you are having this, why you need to have compliance, and for what you are doing, right? So, therefore, you need to properly understand your process. Without doing that, you can't do it. You can, but it's simply filling up your forms. But I think you can do a better job. Not only to the company, but also to the society, because you understand your responsibility after. Then innovation and competitive advantage. I think a few minutes back we discussed with Nidhi also how innovation is important to sustain. Right? So therefore, it's very important. Then cost saving. Actually, we are doing a project on the gas level of cost saving now for Unilever. Right? So it's very important. Otherwise, you can't survive. Right? Then social responsibility we have discussed. I use that word inclusivity. Right? You can't ignore anything. Right? Then circular economy and life cycle. I think I am not going to talk much about it because there are experts. Dr. Ratnayat and many others are there. They will talk much about these things with you, with using tools and all, right? So they will show you how to do that. Right? And to summarize, in sustainable process engineering is about designing and operating systems that are technically efficient, economically viable, environmentally sound, and having the social responsibility. Then we can have long-term success. Right? That's what you are going to learn. If you want to do that, this is our plan. What we discuss, they are there. Right? It's important. I hope you will get the feeling when you start moving with that. The expert lecture panel, and we have both in-house as well as we get experts from the industry also giving you lectures. And this is the way we deliver it. Right, so these are the key components. This is the major part. But each and every word having the sustainability. Without sustainability, right, without safety, you can't talk about sustainability because it's the social factor also. So this is how we map it. You have environment, energy. And what I discussed about process engineering is here. These two together actually. Because when talking about process engineering, it's not only, you should know some amount of fundamentals. They are with you, process engineering fundamentals, without talking about at least material and energy balance. You don't know how much of waste is coming, right? So we start with that. Start with chemical engineering, starts with material and energy balance. If you can't do the material and energy balance properly, there's no point of talking about sustainability because we don't know. Everything comes in one thing, right? If we wanted to take our decisions on what type of method that we have to take into account for reduction of waste, then we have to first look at how much waste is coming. So we should know that. So therefore, quantification is very important. That is where we start. Then process analysis and design, monitoring, everything we discuss. And process safety and risk management, our expert is in front of you, Professor Manisha. So she will take you on the journey on process safety and risk management. Right? So likewise, you all have research and development, management. When it comes to management, you have supply chain management also included in there, because it's a major part of the industry now. Without having a proper supply chain management, you can't survive in the industry. So likewise, we have considered everything there as much as possible that we would think. But I think you also can contribute in future changes to the curriculum, what areas that you think as important, and we will take it from. Because this is a continuous developing process, and Dr. Vilara is there, and many new lecturers we have. So they are the next generation to take this forward, right? So our time is now getting over now. So I think they will take it after this, after our time. So okay. Now you have seen the syllabus. We give you theoretical knowledge and we give you practical skills. And you will see throughout the course we are having several individual and group assessments. You can practically engage. So that is very, very important. I think Mr. Danushka from Forbes Marshall helping us always doing this energy audit. We are grateful to him. And I hope this time also you will assist us. Right? So real practical experience we will get it through this practical real world applications, right? So we give you theory and finally we give the two projects, that is special studies. And so this is up to about everybody following the course, but if you go on MSc pathway, we have this one is there. Even the PG diploma level, you get the special study. But if you want MSc, you have to do a proper research, which is properly guided by an experienced expert in that area. Right? I think I am not going through this. The reason is I will explain at the last slide. So this is your syllabus course outline, and why I am not talking about it. This is because that, right? You can see it there, very clearly in here, and correct. So that's all what I have to tell you. Thank you.
Let's now take a moment to watch a brief video introducing the vision and the scope of the MSc in Sustainable Process Engineering. Kindly direct your attention to the screen.
Industries are clean, communities thrive, and innovation works in harmony with nature. That future doesn't just happen, we create it. As the world calls for sustainable solutions and eco-conscious ways of doing business, industries must transform to reduce energy emissions, to reimagine products. Imagine a future where industries are clean, communities thrive, and innovation works in harmony with nature. That future doesn't just happen, we create it. As the world calls for sustainable solutions and eco-conscious ways of doing business, industries must transform to reduce energy and emissions, to reimagine products and services, to elevate life socially, economically, and environmentally. At the heart of this transformation is you, and we are here to empower your journey. The Department of Chemical and Process Engineering, University of Moratuwa, is shaping the future through its postgraduate diploma and Master of Science in Sustainable Process Engineering, a part-time program tailored for the changemakers of tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Chamali. I'm a past student who did the postgraduate diploma in Sustainable Process Engineering at University of Moratuwa, and currently I'm a master student at University of Calgary, Canada. I believe following this postgraduate diploma on Sustainable Process Engineering helped me greatly to get the admission to University of Calgary, because the master's program which I'm currently doing is also related to energy and environment. So study areas like energy management, wastewater treatment, air pollution control, life cycle assessment, all of these areas taught in the postgraduate diploma will be like very useful to me when I'm doing my master's. So I believe following this course offered at University of Moratuwa will create many opportunities to you, not only if you are working in the industry, but also if you are looking for opportunities to engage in higher studies at prestigious foreign universities.
With a forward-thinking, carefully crafted curriculum, you'll go beyond learning, you'll lead. From life cycle thinking to circularity metrics, you'll master tools that industries now demand. Through engaging lecture sessions, industry-driven activities, expert-led workshops, and hands-on training, every experience is designed to move you from insight to impact.
Hi, I'm Thanushi. I'm working at Tencent Lanka on a global program related to sustainability. I followed the master's course in Sustainable Process Engineering in the last intake. When I was trying to select in between different courses, I was immediately drawn towards this particular course offered by the University of Moratuwa, especially because of the great panel of lecturers who are subject matter experts in specific areas. One other reason was the nature of the course itself. The subjects were very relevant for my current role, and there were several field visits that were planned throughout the course. I should say that field visits were the most exciting part for me. You get to see how you can apply your knowledge to real life problems, and you will eventually connect the dots. All in all, I believe this is a great course, and more than anything else, it has helped to develop the way we approach to problems that we encounter in the industry. I would highly recommend this course to anyone who is interested in the side of sustainability and thinks about the future of the planet.
Collaborate with peers, connect with industry, and gain real-world insights that ignite innovation. Whether you're developing cleaner systems, evaluating carbon footprints, or driving circular economy strategies, you won't just respond to change, you'll drive it.
This is Epsiba, postgraduate diploma student in Sustainable Process Engineering. After completing my bachelor's in chemical engineering from NIT Warangal, India, I have worked for nearly 3 years in an industry. During that time, I realized the importance of sustainability, and I have enrolled to this course. This course has vast modules including sustainable process techniques, sustainable supply chain management, environmental biotechnology, energy management. After the completion of the course, I got an opportunity to migrate to Germany. Currently, I am working on the research projects related to circular economy, life cycle assessment, sustainable solid waste management. There are vast opportunities in industries, and there are more job opportunities and higher PhD opportunities in foreign countries, especially in Europe. So this course not only equipped me with the sustainability knowledge, but also gave me a good career path.
Not just theory, not just skills, but vision, leadership, purpose. You've seen what the world is asking for. Now let your values, your expertise, and your ambition answer that call. Become a mastered professional in sustainable process engineering and help engineer a better tomorrow. Your future starts now. Let's build it together. Imagine a
How
future
are we
where
responding to the
industries are
climate
clean,
crisis?
communities
By
thrive,
delving into the
and
depths of our
innovation.
value chain, we've identified our biggest opportunities to reduce our climate impact by 2030 and move towards new science-based targets. The 10 action areas in our Climate Transition Action Plan all have the potential to reduce emissions while we propel our business forward. In recent years, we've taken big strides to cut emissions throughout our operations and reduce the climate impact of our products. Now, we're going further. We're scaling up our work with key suppliers to reduce carbon footprints and align with industry peers on how are we responding to the climate crisis? By delving into the depths of our value chain, we've identified our biggest opportunities to reduce our climate impact by 2030 and move towards new science-based targets. The 10 action areas in our Climate Transition Action Plan all have the potential to reduce emissions while we propel our business forward. In recent years, we've taken big strides to cut emissions throughout our operations and reduce the climate impact of our products. Now, we're going further. We're scaling up our work with key suppliers to reduce carbon footprints and align with industry peers on how to transparently measure progress. We're investing in how we sustain and strengthen deforestation-free commodities, working with local stakeholders to meet current and future demands. We're reformulating products to use lower impact ingredients and engaging governments and consumers to accept these alternatives. We're reformulating ice creams that can be stored at warmer temperatures in more energy-efficient freezers, while calling for a faster global transition towards renewable energy. That's just a glimpse at some of the action areas in our plan. We'll do all this and more to reach our 2030 targets and progress towards net zero. But our success also relies on the support of others. To keep fueling innovation and scaling solutions, all of us, business, governments, regulators, consumers, need to play our part in shaping a more sustainable future for our lifetime and beyond. Read our updated Climate Transition Action Plan at unilever.com.
Waste is a growing challenge across industries and communities. At Waste to Value, we turn challenges into sustainable solutions, transforming waste into resources that power progress. We recover clean water from...
In January 2022, Haleys took a bold step forward, codifying its passion for ESG and its focus on accountability and transparency. The Haleys Life Code was born. This roadmap represents our unified commitment to sustainable business, built on the ethos and values that have guided us through the decades, and the rich legacy we proudly carry forward.
While we have made meaningful strides on our journey towards sustainability,
the world around us continues to change at an unprecedented pace.
The societies and the way we live is being reshaped.
Accelerating climate change, rapid biodiversity loss, and deepening social inequalities.
These are just a few challenges the world faces today.
These are not distant threats, they are here.
They demand urgent action and collective resolve.
Now, more than ever, progress is not a destination.
It is a journey of incremental change.
The path to a sustainable future is not one we walk alone.
It is a journey we must take together.
with sharper focus, deeper commitment, and strong determination than ever before.
The challenges before us are great,
but so too is our collective ability to drive changes.
Every decision and every action we take has the power to change a better tomorrow.
Now is the time. Rise with purpose.
To push our boundaries and turn ambition into impact.
While we have accelerated our positive impacts and made considerable progress towards the aspirations set out in the Haleys Life Code, the world around us keeps evolving, and so must we. The Life Code is a vibrant living guide, each step a stone on the journey of purpose and boundless possibilities. As we walk this path, we extend our reach across our thriving ecosystem, shaping a future of harmony and growth. To bring greater clarity to our vision, we are curating our aspirations into 6 distinct areas of focus, each a guiding pillar on our ambitious journey. With the second edition of the Haleys Life Code, we reaffirm our commitment to our journey, and with every step, walk towards a future of progress.
Professional in the wastewater treatment and waste minimization industry with over a decade of experience. Currently, he is moving towards a new field of waste valorization as well. We are honored to welcome the founder and technical director of Waste Value Private Limited, Mr. Prashant Chandbose. Waste Value Private Limited is also one of our sponsors for today, and we would now like to take a look at what they are doing to save the environment.
While we have accelerated our positive impacts and made considerable progress towards the aspirations set out in the Healy's Life Code, the world around us keeps evolving.
From the very
And
beginning,
so must
Healy's has been built on the
Life
power
Code
of
is
human
a vibrant,
connection
living
and the
guide.
harmony of
Each step.
How are we responding to the climate crisis? By delving into the depths of our value chain. We've identified our biggest opportunities to reduce our climate
Imagine a future where waste no longer harms the environment, but powers industries, protects resources, and supports communities, turning challenges into sustainable opportunities. Join us in building a sustainable future at WTA.lk.
Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Professor P.G. Ratnasiri, who is a senior lecturer in the Chemical and Process Engineering Department at the University of Moratuwa with over 25 years of experience. He has his PhD at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology and specializes in wastewater and solid waste treatment. I would like to invite all four of you to have a seat in front and begin the panel discussion. Thank you.
It's okay.
Our academic staff members and industrial expertise, and also our new intake. I can see you are eager to learn from us, right? As I think my job is now everybody is here. Professor Shantanu Singh explored very nicely how the sustainability embedded in the process engineering. And also now I was trying to actually introduce these three, then their videos help you to understand they are all in sustainability. Also I'm very proud, but if you don't mind, two of them are my students, right? I think you will not update them. I'm very honored to be, right? So they were my students, not mine. How can you say you a student? So now we have actually our panel discussion theme is reinventing process industry for the sustainability and beyond. We have I'm very honored to have a very eminent person from the industry. So this is how I'm planning to actually conduct this panel discussion. First, I will direct them for each person one question in the first round, and then I will give the opportunity for you to ask questions if you have, and then we go second round. So now Let me start with Mr. Prashant Chandra-Bose. Actually, he is the managing director of the waste value. And this is my area, research area. So, waste value, you know, in the Sri Lankan context, in the industry, they don't manage their waste. They do the waste for treatment and they go for the solid waste treatment. But for the waste management, they are just, except few industries, they are not thinking about the resource recovery and how to innovate waste management solutions. They are mostly involved the pipe treatment. Now, if I give to you very briefly what is the scientific definition of waste, it is actually unutilized raw materials, right? We have not recovered material from the resources. In that context, Prashant Waste Value Company, they are to learn these days. They are proceeding in terms design and build. They design and build the waste treatment plant. In addition, they are providing turnkey solutions to the waste value additions. So, to tell you further, you imagine in Colombo suburbs, how many supermarkets are there, right? How many functions are going, weddings going in the hotels, how much waste, organic waste is generated, what happened to them, right? Are we recovering resources and everything from them? No. Most of them are going to open dump inside, or some of them are going to animal feed, right? That is the way. Now, this jargon we need to change. We need the industry, right? To change the landscape. Now, first I will, when it comes to this, I come to Prashant, when you come to this value addition, or waste valorization, now you have done some practical industrial applications. To get to know us, can you elaborate some of your recent development in the waste value addition?
Yeah. As Professor informed that we have done plenty of value addition, that means the resource recovery from the waste. For example, from the palm oil effluent, milling effluent, it is one of the biggest challenges in the Gulf Street, and normally in the Malaysia and Indonesia, they are just storing in the big lagoons and emitting the greenhouse gases. So in Sri Lanka, what we have done is, the first project what we have done is, we have recovered the animal feed, that means from the waste road itself, we have recovered the animal feed, and after that we recovered the water as well. The water is in the potable quality, can be again reusable for the boiler or cooling down purpose. So that's the first project we have done. Currently, another project what we are doing is, from the palm oil milling effluent, we are going to generate 1 megawatt power plant, which will be the Sri Lanka's first biogas power plant in that scale. Because currently we have a small power plant like 40 or 10 kilowatt power plants are there. But in the scale wise, it will be one of the biggest one. So that is in that process. And in addition to that, not only the wastewater, from the metal industry. From the metal industry, we have a problem with copper sulfate when we are processing the copper refining. We are having a disposal issue with the copper sulfate solution. So what we have done is, from the copper sulfate solution, we have recovered the copper, and that recovered copper, again we are doing the value addition, and again we are making the kind of cables for the Mercedes and the other cars. They are using those cables, but they are manufactured for their vehicles. So because they need to have some raw material which has been recovered from the waste, so they are paying the high value for that. And as far as you know, the professor, that recently we are going to start a project, designing project in Karniaga to recover that there will be an MRF facility. And in addition to the MRF facility, we are going to have a RDF and SRF. And it is also one of the first project in Sri Lanka to have that in that scale. So that around 30 tons of RDF will be produced through that project, and it will be given to some dominant garment industries to generate the boiler stream. So it's another stream we are looking at. So in addition to that, currently we are trying to, in Indonesia, not only in Sri Lanka, we are doing creative work in Indonesia. So in Indonesia, what we are doing is, instead of chemicals like polyethylene chloride, we have introduced the chemical called Vaporlize. It is a manufacturer in Sri Lanka. So, and that chemical, when you are using that chemical, the sludge which has been generated from the treatment plant does not contain any elemental contamination, and and it can be easily converted into the fertilizer. So that project now we are doing in Sri Lanka for 2-3 plants, but in Indonesia we are going to do, we are already started a very big plant. It's like but Sri Lanka's total coconut demand, we are doing in that factory. So that kind of, that plant is not for the waste product, we are going to do the fertilizer manufacturing rather than saying the compost. Because the compost is just an organic stuff. But in the fertilizer, we have the minerals like micronutrients will be there, nitrogen will be there, phosphorus will be there, and in addition to that, there will be some other organic metal also will be there. So like that, we are moving to in that direction by replacing the chemical. As Professor told, we are going to replace some raw materials to produce. I mean that means when you are using the PAC, it's a kind of waste you are going to generate. We are replacing that one. So not only the converting, by adding the change of the raw material, we can reduce the waste generation. Like that is going on.
It will be better you clarify because they don't want the RDF and MRF.
Yeah. So MRF means municipal recovery facility, that resource recovery facility, and the SRF means the solid recovered fuel, and the RDF means refuse derived fuel. So from the municipal solid waste, when you are doing the separation, you can recover plastic, glass, polythene kind of thing. It can be separated for the recycling process, and the remaining part we can convert it into the RDF. That RDF normally we can use it for in the international. As you know, Professor, 8 to 9% of the pollution is from the cement industry. So those cement industry in the international, what they are using is RDF fuel for their cleaners, and they are replacing their raw material as well from that. So that is on the other way. And the SRF means adding some calorific value to the RDF and converting that into SRF, which can be used as the fuel in the oil. So that is also underway.
Thank you very much for your, I think you know that Kardiana, we are having the mountains of waste, like road waste, and they are going to be this project for the new waste. No? Very good one. And now I would like to move to Mr. Indik and his factory manager, Lino. In addition to a video, I asked Unilever has actually all sustainable goals. In the 4 countries, climate, nature, plastics and livelihood. Plastics is your products are going with the plastics and your packaging. Now I want to ask you, can you elaborate the model of action to achieve these sustainable goals?
First of all, thank you, Mr. Monica, for the partner with this year, right? So when it comes to the, so I will start the discussion why it's important to Unilever in all of this. So Unilever is the second largest multinational in FMCG in the world. So our products are everywhere. 3.4 billion products are distributed. That's been 50% of the consumers are being used to Unilever, and they are present in 90 countries in the world. So that's means we have a prime responsibility to address this issue. We are the one chain of this, right? If you see in the market, you go to your waste bin, you see a lot of our products are there. So that's why we thought that we are the number one. We should initiate this with the UN and whatever the renewable partners in the world, right? So we really started USLP, which is the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. So in 2010, so we are the first 3 companies among the first 3 companies who signed the UN treaty with respect to sustainable process development. Alright. So when it comes to the, so as you mentioned, we have 3 pilots. So they are after the USLP, Unilever has, this is the 3rd year of Unilever sustainability version. So we have 2010 and 2017. Then last year we had another upgradation of the this sustainable plan, which is a GAP plan. So there we have focusing on 4 aspects, right? Number 1 is the climate. So because the climate, so since you know that the temperature of the world is increasing 1.5 degrees and over the current base in 2020, so nowadays is significant. So we are having a huge responsibility in in that aspect. So that's the number one priority. So the second one is the plastic. So plastic, we are the in Sri Lanka and everywhere we are generating plastic and you are using plastic for the packaging and purposes. So it's a one priority for us. There are a number of goals we have, of which I will brief you. So the third one is a livelihood. How we can, because sustainable is not just look at the environment, but how you look after your ecosystem. When you check, when you are in a multinational, there are huge ecosystem in you. You have suppliers, you have the business partners, like that, and the buying your consumers. So there are huge value chain across the business. So how we can improve our livelihood of the people, these people. So finally is the nature. So we are the world number one, world largest palm oil, palm oil purchasing company. So that's why you know the deforestation, and that's one aspect that we are looking how we can improve that. So with that, we have all these aspects. As an organization, we have identified what to be done. For example, in climate, we have identified what is our target with respect to the scope 1 and scope 2 emissions, right? So with respect to the nature and the deforestation, and we are our suppliers as we supply to farmers only to make so we are paying a premium. So there are the global alliance, responsible sourcing alliance. If you take the farmer pricing, normally it's 3-5% premium to the normal supplier. So we are buying all these farmer requirement from these vendors, the RS certified vendors. When we do the plastic, it's a huge conversation we are working on it, how we are reducing the plastic and plastic. But if you see the local, the local context, if you buy him, you can see the big bottle has been drastically converted into the transparent bottle. And the plastic reduction. So we are working on the less plastic. Then we are how to reduce our packaging with the reduce the plastic. But if you say the number of packaging, we have reduced the plastic content drastically, and the better plastic. And how we can convert this plastic into either reusable bottles or globally we have invented separate dispensers. You can go to the your shops or the supermarket and you can bring your bottle and you can collect the product. So we are piloting these things. So with respect to the livelihood, we are working with our partners, supply partners, how we can upgrade their livelihood and the minimum wages of Sri Lanka also the minimum wages. Globally, many countries has instituted the what will be the minimum wages for each and every country, right? So these are the on these things globally we have been separate mechanism, and the country-wise we are tracking the numbers. So there's a separate EPR reporting, environmental reporting system in the business, and we are tracking, and those things that we are tracking when we meet the target. And in the business is not only a business or one part. This is a public limited company. There are shareholders in Europe, so they look for whether we are meeting a ESG target. If we are not meeting, then it will impact our share values, and this is to leak. So as an organization, we are very bound, and we are bound to deliver these targets and continue the meeting the targets. So rest of the thing I will give you later. So how we are tracking in Sri Lanka also we are tracking, and we are responsible for, and we are having partnership with the government, central environmental authorities, and a lot of things are happening. So with respect to the sustainability.
Thank you, Vikram, for your explanation that how you action plan to achieve your core sustainability goals. Now I will take you to another dimension actually. Now we start, maybe talk about engineering sustainability. Now Mrs. Prashant is this group ESG manager. You know, ESG means environmental, social and governance, right? Now in the business arena, how we are at sustainability. Now she may have got to tell us, actually I will ask to explain to one of the business case consider sustainability.
Right, so good morning and thank you to Dr. Akram for this invitation. So I'm a bit intimidated by all the engineering brains in the room. So I am not a technical engineering person. So in answering the question, I'll take a more corporate perspective as to why we are doing this, right? And what is the importance for all of you. So that you can imagine, from plantations to rubber gloves to hotels to basically 16 sectors, 190 companies, 21 countries, right? So when you talk about the business case for doing this, so in your lecture earlier, you spoke about people profit planet, right? And how yes, you have to make profits, but also you have to consider the impact on people and the planet. But now it has come to a point, and I'm sure you will agree with me, is that without the profit, without the planet and the people element under control, you can't actually generate profits, right? Because now these issues are having a direct impact on your profitability, right? Which is why all of you will have fantastic job opportunities going forward. So I speak about three things here, which are really affecting Aries. So we are an export-driven organization. More than 50% of our revenues come from exports. So we have really seen the customer pressure on sustainability really escalating over the last few years, right? So I'll give you a couple of examples from Aries. One is Big Products, which is our glove manufacturer. We have about 5% of global market share in gloves. And now we have customers who are actually asking for reducing emissions per type of glove. So that means you need to conduct a life cycle analysis for each type of glove and say, okay, for this glove we are going to reduce by this amount, right? We have the same at Neka, which is an activated carbon manufacturer, where they are asking for emission targets per ton of activated carbon, right? So they don't care. So at EPL level, they don't actually care about Aries. They are asking per glove intensities, right? So these are the customer pressures that are coming. We also have the regulations from Europe really becoming more intense. We don't know what the USA is doing, but EU definitely there is a lot of push towards regulation. So one of the main things that you mentioned also is the EU deforestation regulation, right? So based on this, now it's again the glove manufacturer. So we have to prove that every glove we manufacture is not sourced from latex that was sourced from a tree that was planted from deforestation, right? So basically you have to prove every glove is deforestation free. Now we have rubber plantations, but we source from 5,000 rubber farmers, right? So how do you go down to each level and ensure that this is deforestation free? So these are some of the challenges that we are facing. Also there is another regulation called the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, which is hitting our construction and aluminium manufacturing segment. So there, when you are exporting to the EU, there will be a tax which is based on your emissions, right? So now the interesting thing is suddenly leadership teams who never cared about emissions are now looking at emissions because it is directly going to hit your bottom line, right? So those are two examples in terms of customer requirements and regulation. So since we spoke about the social pillar, I will bring in one part of that as well, which is the diversity angle. Like everyone is now talking about diversity. Probably not an area that you always touch on, but I think it's important in this context. So at Aries, we looked at some of our numbers a few years ago and saw that 65% of our girls don't come back to work after having their first child. Right? 65% of our girls don't come back. So then we were looking at what we can do about this because there was a big cost involving getting people again, retraining them, and of course there are some better workers, so that challenges us. So then what we did is we took into the leadership team, we made them sit down and say, okay, this is something we have to do something about this, right? And at that point we decided that we would offer paternity, where we are giving now a better opportunity for the girls to actually come back to work, right? So through this data and through looking at this, we were able to do that. So we haven't really seen the results yet because it's a new initiative. But this is how environmental and social sustainability can really reap benefits for your business, which is an imperative now. So I'll talk a little bit more in the next session.
Thank you, Mrs. Prashani. Actually, you mentioned about the carbon dioxide emission per glove and your carbon per 1 gram CO2 emission. And then we learn the life cycle analysis. We have an extensive actually study in this master's program. You will learn all these creative approaches in the university, and this is not the expertise is there. Now, I can give you the opportunity if you have one or two questions very quickly because time is before we start second round. If you want some clarifications, some questions you can raise.
So when it comes to that aspect, so basically we will also separate communication protocols are there. So one thing, you cannot put claims or anything without proper logical scientific approach, and it has been validated by the government's consumer authorities whether that claim is actually being proven, right? So most of the claims that we are getting, and the Unilever also has a global claim center, right? So and whatever the claim what we do, so the product and whatever the communication validation and promotion, so we have the responsibility that it has been scientifically or clinically proven. So you know some of the products we are putting many more claims, right? So it is either clinically proven or scientifically laboratory proven. So before we are putting into the additional communication, we are going to the necessary, for example, is soap, if it is a soap or toothpaste, so the necessary approval has to be taken from the government that has been tested and proven, right? Otherwise, we will not put into any formal communication to the anything. But there are some, but it is not in the legally. But I don't know whether there is a legal requirement with respect to the communication, whether it has to be. But some product is there, for example, toothpaste. That's a requirement, right? So it's mandatory, and the communication has to be like that. There has been stipulated, but some products has not been stipulated in that has been validated. So that's the challenge right now, because people are putting a lot of not proven claims to the product, and they try to get the market benefit by the traders.
I think you got the answer, right? Thank you very much. Now, without taking that much time, we will, how much time do we have? We can go on, right? Now, I would like to move to the second round, right? Then I will again come back to Mr. Rushant Chandra Bose. The first round, he explained there are role in the recovery of having the resources from the waste and how we add value to the waste. Now, I have a discussion for you. Now, you know, in Sri Lanka, we have plenty of waste resources, right? For example, even in front of my university, what is the source? Yeah, we have I'll show something. Yesterday actually I went to canteen. Yeah, even in our canteen, they are collecting their food waste openly. So I got a picture actually, I can show you. I'm not happy with that one because, you know, even our university, yesterday, right? Huge amount of food waste we generate, right? Even at the moment. Now, okay, now imagine the Kardiya, right? We have 262 open dump site in Sri Lanka, right? We have a huge potential for recovery of resources. And agricultural residues and the organic fractions, you go to Kardiya, you have to RDA with the non-organic material, okay? Now, as I want to know, they are actually now going to build the first ever large scale agro utilization plant in Sri Lanka. It's at MB in China. Yeah, China, right? They, I also want they happen to go to the technical there. And now my question is this. And now when you come to waste, actually they are inhomogeneous, right? They are scattered. You cannot use them in the process as it is. There are challenges in the pre-treatment. Now, if I broadly say these challenges, we have scaling now. Because if you talk about the very small scale and pilot scale, when you scale up to industrial scale, there are a lot of technical challenges. Also, you need the finance, right? Huge plant, first huge plant. And regulatory framework, policies for this establishment. There are challenges. I want to ask you from you how to overcome these challenges in establishing such large scale development.
Yeah, one of the biggest challenge when we are implementing this kind of technology, I mean the process unit operation, is the feedstock variability of process. So the feedstock variability, if the feedstock is different, changing the concentration or with composition, we can't able to run the system in the steady state. In the chemical engineering countries, is saying that steady state. Running the steady state operation, unit operation is very challenging if we have a variation. So what we do is, when we are getting the waste, we need to do the proper testing and we need to separate. Like otherwise, it's very difficult. So when it comes to the Kamania. But the biggest challenge that we are going to face is waste that we are collecting from the municipal solid, from the tractors, it's just a old one. So when we are during the rainy period, we will get a more moisture on the waste. So if we make an impact to our final product, then in our final product that we are going to produce as asparagus oil, which will contain more moisture. So the collection, when we come to the collection, we should have a proper collection system that should be the closed container or the closed, when we are going to do the storage of the facility, it is also should be in a proper closed consignment. So that is the major challenge we are going to face. And the third one is the regulatory compliance. So the regulatory compliance, the CEA, we are not only for the wastewater or air pollution or noise, we are trying so because problem is the noise. When we are implementing this kind of technology, it is going to generate more noise kind of a problem as well. So that also has to be addressed. And another biggest problem currently what we are facing is 2-3 years ago government has regularized the standard of the NDOC and the DBOC. That means when you are processing this kind of waste, recycling, it will create mean that non-volatile compound which has to be properly addressed. When you are doing the plastic recycling or when you are doing the recycling of the municipal solid waste or when you are doing the evaporation or drying. So those systems will come up with another cost. So addressing those costs and giving the cost-effective solution to the end client is one of the biggest challenge for us because the client, when it comes to the end of the day, they are evaluating the price with the profit. So that is another impact why we sometimes, when we are giving a solution, we are not completely depending on the European machinery. Sometimes we go with kind of Chinese and Indian blend, and for the art of the process we use European technology or other standard technology, but not critical machines, we go with some kind of Chinese machine to reduce the pricing, especially in Sri Lankan context. We are having that are the problems, and those are the immediate measures we are taking to address those problems.
Just one clarification. With these large applications, are you planning to go to bio-CNG or bio-LNG?
Yes. Currently, we are planning to go for bio-CNG and kind of bio-energy storage. That means we are having a problem on during the morning time. We are having a solar power which can generate the energy in the morning time. But in the night time, we are having a problem of generating peak time. During the peak time, we are having energy shortage. So to address the energy shortage, but we are planning to, from after the biogas generation, we will compress the biogas, and during the peak time, like let's say from the 6:30 to 10:30, we will run the power plant to get the to balance the grid. So it will be our next project.
Thank you very much. It's nice to hear. Now I will move to Mr. Indika. I think in the first session you explained your 4 pillars of the global sustainability in the Unilever and then your implementation action plan. Now I want to ask what are you really applying actually sustainability initiatives in the Unilever?
Coming to also the aspect, so I will put in my answers in the same place. So basically we are focusing on 4 pillars. One is the climate, right? So with respect to the climate, so current results, I started from the result, then I will give you example what we have done for that and Sri Lankan case, right? So basically, scope 1 and 2 emissions, our targets in 2030 has to be reduced by 100% from the 2019 baseline. So we are reaching 72% of the current number with the 2024 exit. So basically with that, with respect to the emission, right? With respect to emission, we have upgraded our steam generation systems. So we are working with the current also Corona, we are working with the ProMaster. So storing 2.5 boiler. So and our newly built nutrition plant also we built into the new biomass boilers. So there's a one major project. So in addition to that, solar was one of our priorities. In Corona we have covered 30% of our power generations coming from the solar. And the third part factories we know Unilever has 2 ways of manufacturing. One is the on-site, other one is the CM partner. So we correlate to suppliers, right, to do manufacturing process. So we are mandated for them that you have to any sourcing has to be at least 25% from the sustainable like solar. So now almost our CM manufacturers, they have constructed, they have built their solars and they are building the dark, right? Then we come to the nature. So nature globally the number delivered is 97% of our so basically 560,000 hectares of leaf generated. So basically farm oil as I mentioned also when people do cultivation they cultivate the trees and do. So Unilever as organization we have done the leaf generation, that means reactivate the 560,000 hectares in the world as per to support the countries. So for that nature-wise, that's the result in Sri Lanka. What we are going to do, basically the nature, the soil has a major ingredient called talc. Right? You know talc, right? It is with the mining product. So basically we are planning to exit the talc in soil by end of this year. So you will not get talc in your products, right? Lux and like you will not find it. So we are the first company that is exiting talc from the soil. The talc is a mining product where we have a lot of pollutions and a lot of environmental impacts are there. So the investment is 600 million. for this in my factory. So we are investing 600 million to exit the debt. So we are adding another alternative raw material which is very sustainable one. So that's how we are converting the product into though it is the P&L point of view, it's not a cost benefit project, it's all cost project. So the overall business GM is getting diluted, but we are working towards because there's a global mandate we need to exit from the debt by 2025 December. So we are now speeding the project, right? So when we come to the plastic is globally we have been the number of virgin plastic footprint reduced by 20% by the 2022 baseline. So we have reduced the virgin plastic consumption by 20%. So basically the base of the one thing is in Sri Lankan countries we have separate strategy for that. One thing I don't know whether you know, we are disposing 3,000 tons of plastic per day for a year. So we are the only country we are collecting 3,000 tons of plastic from the market. So we are working with INSEE and the Unilever, Coca-Cola and Nestle. We are collecting the same amount of plastic which are disposed. You may ask, but are you collecting the same plastic? No, we cannot collect the same plastic. But we are asked the plastic collectors, we are paying for them to collect 3,000 tons of plastic and Unilever will collect. So they collect for us and they give to the INSEE and INSEE do the reprocessing. But unfortunately, the Sri Lankan plastic collection system is not that much straight, right? You cannot get that way. Normally, the collector look for the money. So if you ask him to collect sachet, he will not collect sachet. That's the challenge, right? So what the thing is, what if you get that way you collect bottles, right? But sachet is the biggest challenge for us because in COVID, the rain and river and everywhere you cannot collect. But as a packaging point of view, sachet is the very low cost option, but the bottles and others are very high cost option, but the consumers are not affordable. So we cannot, so that's why you can see sometime, for example, I can say one example, government's banned sachet, right? So like 2 years period they banned sachets, right? But what has happened, then the consumers is not being, but there is no option for the consumers to give. Then the companies introduce the bottles. But if you make the consumption, plastic consumption, the bottle is high, right? When compared to sachet has a per consumption, very less plastic. But the bottle, because you introduce a very small bottle, right? The volume is 40 milliliters, but you are using 8 grams of plastic. That's the challenge. But you had this as, but putting more plastic into the market, because your container wise packaging is you are having more plastic. So we are understanding that. So we introduced the world thinner bottle, but next month onward you can see the market. It is the world thinnest bottle in Sri Lanka. You can get shampoo bottle special for small packs, Sunsilk and Dove and those range like boy. But the bigger packs, yes, it is good one. But the consumers are not having the buying power to go for higher coffee. What we are doing on that, so basically if you go to the supermarket, you can see a lot of pouches are encouraged, right? So you can see you get a ring for the pouch or for the bottle, right? Pouch has been discriminated lately, we have used the prices. So people buy the pouch because it's a less plastic compared to the bottles. And the other thing is the bottle, but you can see a lot of our products, we have converted the product from this plastic and the 6-sleeve. You can see the product, many bottles are 6-sleeve. I think if there is someone from the plastic collection, even they know how much difficult to remove the bottle. You have the bottle, they put quality. For the, when you work for the recycle, you have recycling. So we have a lot of products, we are removing this 6-sleeve. But if you take the early bottle, we have a 6-sleeve quality there, which has been given more packaging visibility. But we remove it and you can see the transparent bottle. But the problem with the transparent bottle, if you have the rubber feeling, the people are not buying. But when we are putting in the shelf, you can see the pill level, right? Everybody buys the highest pill bottle, lowest pill bottle, people are not buying. So then you have to invest in billing machine, right? So you have to upgrade the billing machine drastically with a huge investment when we are moving into the billing technologies. You cannot know the billing technology should be perfect when you are going to the transparent bottle. We can see the volume. So you can see lot of bottles we are converting into the transparent bottle where people, consumers can understand and it will give them easy for the glass to be collected and when we are promoting the reuse. So final one is the liquid move. So basically liquid we have separated that in the globally and our 37% of our global suppliers have been now aligned with the global living wages plan. So the reviews they define what will be the wages for each and every country. So Sri Lanka also value depends and all the Sri part. In Sri Lanka we are 100%. They are the people who have worked for even has been wherever all the salary which has been the UN and the Sri Lanka government and the UN protocol. And so those are the things with respect to the livelihood. So basically the challenge with respect to the sustainability, one thing is how to convert the consumers, right? That's the challenge. So whether you can offer a number of products with very sustainable, but consumers you have to go to the level consumers can afford to that. So that's the challenge. One thing when the economies are going up, so people are going much more buying power, they can look for sustainable products. But you can see the 2020 during the recession period, the buying period, we see huge decline in the buying power. Consumers immediately switch their buying pattern into the lower quality product. They don't look at whether there is a packaging, what kind of packaging, and there's a relevance to us. But even since we are the market leader, many emerging markets, right? We are market leader in India, many markets in emerging markets we are the market leader. So emerging markets as we have huge, how can I say, huge challenges with respect to consumer behaviors. Because that's the when the countries are coming up and developing, these principles are very much easy to practice. But as leading companies, we are the market leaders and we are the market creators. We should create the market. So otherwise, we are buying responsible to create the market. When you have the product, you can buy it, right? Then the competition will grow. So let the competition grow. We should create the market. That's how we are running the business right now.
Thank you, Digga, for the very extensive information. But they have really applied sustainability in their products. Now, I would like to again move into Mrs. Prashant. But when we you very much. I think we are almost there, but we can win some time. But if I summarize whole discussion, you would get some knowledge on engineering aspect of sustainability and how it is in the corporate world, sustainability. So don't worry, if you don't understand, you'll be able to go through our the program, you will be learning them, okay, step by step. So once again, I would like to thank you all actually having a very good discussion. Do you guys have some questions? You can still raise.
My question is for Mr. Zizhan.